The halls of the Imperial Palace were deathly quiet, save for the sound of heavy boots echoing against polished obsidian floors. Darth Vader moved like a phantom of fear, cloaked in the hum of his respirator and a presence that bent the air itself. As he entered the Emperor's throne chamber, the shadows stirred. From his elevated seat, Emperor Palpatine, master of Sith and state, watched his apprentice approach. Outside, Coruscant glowed in perpetual dusk, but in this place there was only darkness.
You have felt it, a disturbance in the Force, faint but undeniable.
Vader did not need to respond. He had felt it, like a splinter buried in the mind, an echo from wild space, far beyond the outer rim. Something ancient, something alive.
There is a threat. It is neither rebel nor Jedi, but something older, something foreign to our order. You will investigate.
A silent nod. Vader turned, ready to carry out the mission with lethal precision.
You will not go alone.
Vader paused mid-step. The dark side swelled within him like a rising storm. He has seen the edges of the unknown regions. He understands what lies beyond, and he serves the Empire, as you do. From the shadows emerged the blue-skinned figure of Grand Admiral Thrawn, his face calm, unreadable, with crimson eyes that regarded Vader not with fear, but interest.
Lord Vader, it is an honor.
Vader said nothing, but the contempt was palpable. Thrawn bowed slightly. The Emperor believes this disturbance warrants the combined strength of force and reason.
Then he underestimates reason and overestimates loyalty.
The Emperor's laughter echoed like thunder through the chamber.
You will go to Batuu, and you will work together. The secrets of that world must be unearthed.
As you command.
Vader's fists clenched beneath his cloak. He did not trust Thrawn, never had. The Chiss walked too many lines between allegiance and ambition, but orders were orders, and in the Empire, obedience was survival. The silence aboard the Chimera was not unusual. Thrawn's flagship, like its master, operated with the cold efficiency of a machine, every crew member an extension of his design. But this time, the silence bore tension. Darth Vader stood at the viewport of the command bridge, arms folded behind his back, the endless swirl of hyperspace reflected in his mask. He said nothing, yet everyone around him felt the weight of his presence, like gravity had shifted. Thrawn entered, his gait measured, hands clasped behind him. The crew stiffened, not out of fear, but out of respect. Vader did not turn.
We will arrive at Batuu within the hour. Long-range sensors have detected signs of unauthorized activity in orbit, possibly smugglers or worse.
Your knowledge of this region exceeds even the Emperor's. Why is that?
My people, the Chiss Ascendancy, border the unknown regions. I have familiarity with the dangers that dwell beyond Imperial charts.
And yet you speak of loyalty to the Empire.
My loyalty is to order. If the Empire falls, chaos follows. That benefits no one.
I know what you seek, Thrawn. Not order, control.
I once knew a Jedi, a general. His name was Anakin Skywalker. We fought together during the Clone Wars, on a mission not far from Batuu.
That Jedi is dead. We don't speak about him.
Of course, my lord. Merely an observation. I found General Skywalker impulsive, driven by emotion, unlike you.
Vader turned back to the viewport. He knew what Thrawn was doing, probing, testing. But worse, he feared the Admiral saw too clearly. He had buried Anakin Skywalker beneath armor and hate. But in the gaze of Thrawn, that shadow stirred. The jungle world of Batuu turned slowly beneath the hull of the Chimera, its surface cloaked in thick clouds and tangled green wilderness. To the untrained eye, it was just another forgotten outpost at the edge of the galaxy. But Thrawn saw patterns in its obscurity, and Vader felt it, like a whisper in the Force that never stopped. Their shuttle descended into the dense atmosphere, the hull groaning from atmospheric pressure. Lightning flickered in the clouds, a storm building. As they broke through, the ruins came into view, ancient stone spires rising from the jungle like teeth, weathered and forgotten, a place untouched by time, or so it seemed. Vader stepped down the boarding ramp, cloak billowing behind him. The air was heavy with rot and silence. Birds scattered from the treetops, sensing the darkness in him.
This planet has history. Architecture suggests a pre-Republic civilization, possibly Rakatan.
Vader said nothing. His attention was on the disturbance, closer now. A tremor in the Force, like a wound in the fabric of reality. It pulsed beneath the soil. They moved toward an abandoned outpost, half swallowed by vines. Inside, the remnants of an Imperial installation lay in ruin, equipment gutted, consoles fried. No bodies, no signs of struggle, just absence.
Destroyed from within, no signs of external attack.
Vader knelt, placing a gloved hand on the cracked floor. He closed his eyes. The Force reached out like fingers through time. Pain, fear, madness.
They were manipulated.
Not rebellion tactics. Too surgical, too invasive.
Suddenly, blaster fire ripped through the undergrowth. Smugglers, or something worse, opened fire from the tree line. Vader ignited his saber in a blaze of crimson light. In seconds, the ambushers lay broken and dying, cut down with mechanical precision.
They whispered, "They're coming! They're inside!"
His voice dissolved into screams, then silence.
This is not the work of smugglers.
This is something else.
From the shadows of Batuu, an enemy was watching and waiting. If you liked this video and want part 2, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. The jungle had grown darker, not from nightfall, but from a presence. As Vader and Thrawn pushed deeper into Batuu's forgotten wilds, the trees loomed like sentinels, their roots coiled like serpents over ancient stone. Rain began to fall in a steady hiss, soaking armor and uniform alike. But neither man slowed. They were hunting something, or being hunted. Thrawn studied the terrain with surgical focus, his hand brushing along a stone carved with symbols that had not seen light in millennia.
These markings are not native to Batuu. They are Chiss in origin, but altered, corrupted.
Vader paused. The Force trembled here, like a scream buried under layers of soil. His fist clenched.
This is where it began.
Suddenly, the jungle erupted with motion. Dark shapes emerged, tall, lithe, and faceless, their armor jagged and foreign. Not droids, not humanoid. They moved like predators, coordinated without speaking, surrounding them with almost spectral silence. Vader's lightsaber blazed to life, cutting through the mist like a flare. Thrawn drew a blaster, but fired only once. He did not need more. He was watching, calculating. The enemy was Grisk. Vader engaged them head-on, moving like a phantom of death. Yet even as he struck them down, he felt their presence in the Force, twisted, shielded, not like Sith or Jedi, but wrong. These were no ordinary invaders. They were invaders of the mind.
They do not seek conquest by firepower. They sow doubt, discord, slavery through fear. They bend others to their will and make them believe it was their own choice.
Vader hurled one against a tree with a wave of his hand.
The survivors from the outpost.
The attack ended as suddenly as it began. The Grisk withdrew into the jungle, like mist evaporating in sunlight. No bodies remained, only broken weapons and whispers. Vader looked out into the dark forest.
They're testing us.
And learning.
In that moment, Vader realized the true scope of the danger. Not rebellion, not Jedi. Something else entirely. Something that could not be defeated with power alone. They regrouped in the ruins of an old listening post. its walls cracked from time and war, yet shielded enough to keep the jungle at bay, for now. Rain pattered on rusted durasteel, hissing as it slid over Vader's armor. Inside, the only light came from Thrawn's datapad and the smoldering tip of Vader's blade. Thrawn moved through the wreckage like a surgeon in a battlefield hospital, unflinching, methodical. He scanned fragments of encrypted logs, maps of the Outer Rim, intercepted transmissions in unknown dialects.
The Grisk are not acting alone. They've manipulated local smugglers, infiltrated outposts, even corrupted entire species in the unknown regions. They don't conquer planets. They conquer minds.
You've encountered them before.
Yes. In my time, with the Chiss Ascendancy, we have fought them in the darkness where the galaxy end.
Yet you told the Emperor nothing.
My people are secretive, Thrawn replied, and this was not yet your concern.
You withheld knowledge from the Empire.
I withheld it until it became relevant.
There was no fear in Thrawn's voice, only precision. It enraged Vader more than open defiance.
I should destroy you where you stand.
You could, but then the Empire would be blind to a threat it cannot yet understand. Besides, I believe you want to understand. You always did, Anakin Skywalker.
A shockwave of fury radiated through the Force. Vader's saber ignited, humming death.
I told you never to speak that name.
I do not speak it as a threat. I speak it as fact. I knew him, I respected him. He was reckless, but brilliant. You are not the same, but you carry echoes of him.
Silence. The lightsaber hissed off. Vader turned away, cloak sweeping behind him.
If you truly understand this enemy, then prove it. Lead me to them.
I will. But understand this, Lord Vader. Brute force will not win this war. We must outthink them. We must be patient.
Vader hated the word. Patience. It was weakness in his eyes. But even he knew the truth. They would need each other, even if they despised what they saw in the other's eyes. The Chimera emerged from hyperspace, like a predator breaking through the veil, its sleek dagger shape gliding silently into a dark, uncharted system near Batuu. Surrounding them were wrecked satellites and hollowed-out debris fields, evidence of a battle no Imperial records mentioned. Something had fought here, and something had won. Thrawn stood on the command bridge, arms behind his back, eyes locked on the stars beyond.
This is where the signal originated. Not Batuu itself, but from something orbiting it.
Vader stood at his side, motionless, yet coiled like a drawn blade. Suddenly, sensors lit up, contacts flooding the screen. Not Imperial, not Rebel, a massive vessel decloaked from the darkness. It was not built by human hands. Spiked and angular, it seemed to drink light rather than reflect it. No transponder, no language markings, only a dreadful, silent presence.
The Grisk. They've brought one of their command ships this far into our territory.
They're not running anymore. They want us to see them. They want us to fear them.
As the Grisk ship began launching sleek, silent fighters, each one shaped like a blade, Thrawn gave the order.
All batteries, lock fire on designated vectors, interceptors, defensive pattern, Aurek 5. Brace for psychological interference.
Interference.
They will try to invade the minds of our crew. They exploit weakness, use memory, guilt, fear.
Vader said nothing, but behind the mask, his defenses were already rising. There was no guilt. There was no fear. There was only the dark side. The battle began in an instant. Grisk fighters weaved through laser fire with impossible coordination, reacting before they should have known where to turn. They moved like a hive, or like minds controlled by a single will. Vader leapt into the fray in his personal TIE Advanced, leading the assault. He cut through the enemy like a blade through cloth, the Force guiding his every move. The Grisk swarmed, but could not touch him. He was wrath-made flesh. Aboard the Chimera, Thrawn executed a flawless pincer maneuver, predicting Grisk patterns before they unfolded. He used their hive coordination against them, isolating command links, scrambling their cohesion. And then, Vader struck the final blow. He launched a focused torpedo barrage into the command ship's power core, breaking through the shields Thrawn had carefully weakened. The explosion split the void. A son born and died in seconds. Silence returned. Victory. But Thrawn's gaze remained on the stars.
This was not an invasion. It was a message.
Vader landed, stepping onto the hangar deck without a word. The remains of the Grisk command ship floated in orbit, like the carcass of a slain beast, its twisted hull glowing faintly from the internal fires still burning in the vacuum. The Imperial forces, though victorious, carried the weight of something unresolved. Back aboard the Chimera, Darth Vader moved through the corridors with silent purpose, his presence alone enough to clear a path. Crew members bowed and backed away, none daring to meet his gaze. But within his armor, behind the mask, something stirred. Memories, not of war, but of a boy, of Anakin Skywalker, standing beside Chancellor Palpatine in a quiet office, watching unknown star systems blink on a map.
There is more in the unknown regions than we understand, and some truths, my young apprentice, must be buried until we are strong enough to face them.
Now, that truth had returned. In Thrawn's private analysis chamber, Vader found the Grand Admiral standing before a rotating projection of the Grisk vessel. The lights of the data hollows painted eerie colors across his blue skin. Charts, symbols, and cross-referenced alien transmissions hovered in the air, forming a puzzle only Thrawn could see.
You've been preparing for this. Not a question.
Yes, since before I returned to the Empire, my people have long battled the Grisk. I joined the Imperial Navy not to serve your Emperor, but to buy time, to find strength for what's coming.
Then you admit your loyalty lies elsewhere.
My loyalty lies with order, with survival.
A dangerous silence fell.
Do you think the Emperor doesn't see your true motives? That I don't.
I think the Emperor sees further than either of us, and he knows that if the Grisk succeed, they will not just take worlds. They will take minds. They will bend the strongest will into obedience.
Vader's breath echoed louder in the chamber.
They could even make a Sith kneel.
That struck a nerve. The Force crackled faintly in the air, and for a heartbeat, the room seemed to tilt. But Vader held his fury.
You play a dangerous game, Thrawn.
Yes, but I play to win.
Without another word, Vader turned and walked away, cloak trailing behind him like a shroud. He could not trust Thrawn, but he could not deny his value. The mission was complete, but the war, the real war, was only beginning. Coruscant never slept. From the gleaming towers of the Senate District to the shadowed alleys of the lower levels, the city world pulsed like a living organism, restless, vast, unknowable. But deep within the Imperial Palace, in a throne room wreathed in darkness, only one presence mattered. Darth Vader knelt before his master. The holographic map of the unknown regions hovered above them, casting ghostly light across the Emperor's face. His yellow eyes burned with something between satisfaction and suspicion.
You have done well, my friend. The disturbance is gone.
Vader remained silent, head bowed, black armor polished like obsidian beneath the throne's glow. But within his mind, the echoes of Batuu and beyond still stirred.
I sense hesitation. Tell me, what of Thrawn?
He is useful.
Yes, useful and dangerous, as are all great minds.
There was no answer to that, only silence. Later, in the solitude of his private chamber aboard the Executor, Vader stood alone before the vast starscape. Batuu was long behind him now, but its memory lingered. In the reflection of the transparasteel, he didn't see a Sith Lord. He saw the ghost of a Jedi, Anakin Skywalker. He remembered Thrawn's words, not threats, not accusations, observations, insight sharpened to the point of a blade.
You are not the same, but you carry echoes of him.
Vader clenched his fists. The Grisk had failed to breach his mind, but Thrawn, he had seen too much, and yet there was no fear in the Grand Admiral, no ambition for the throne, only strategy, calculation, survival. Vader hated him for it, and yet respected him more than anyone in the Imperial fleet. For all his power, all his fury, Vader could not shake the thought, who truly serves the Empire? The enforcer who kills in its name, or the outsider who sees the greater war before it begins? The stars stretched endlessly ahead, cold and uncaring, and somewhere beyond them, in the dark corners of the galaxy,